Sahara, garazen, Venezuela.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone. First, I would like to say that I feel very, very happy, proud and grateful for being here today with all of you. I feel very proud because I can speak in the name of many women, I guess all over the world. In this case, it's going to be Sahrawi women, but we have to first, as we can see here, remember that every single woman all over the world has some kind of conflict, struggle, problem, or whatever. So we're here today, we can see some very difficult situations, but let's not forget the ones who are not here as well. I think that's something to bear in mind. Well, I grew up in a refugee camp which was settled over 40 years ago. I belong to the Sahrawi people, Western Sahara. I hope that most of you here have heard about it. Okay. Our country is occupied by Morocco. That has led us to a very complicated situation which has had like different stages, let's say. Historically, in our society, women have always had a very important and relevant role. Despite being a Muslim and Arab society, our women have been very active in our daily life for every single thing, even for making decisions when our society is divided in tribes, meeting important decisions and so on. Women have been very, very, very clear referent, no matter the age as well, the experience of the women, the knowledge of our society. In the end, we are the ones who transmit those values, that history, and those different things, from ones to others. That has always been taken very much into account. I'll give you first a very quick drawback, going back into time. When Morocco, let's say, invaded or was invited by the Spanish government to enter our country, the Polisario Front at that moment, did not have loads of resources to do anything. We are a very small community. We are not millions of people, as many of your countries here. So both our men and women had to take a very active role, We've had women at the beginning playing the typical traditional roles, let's say, of looking after the injured people, taking care of the daily routines. But in our case, let's say that we've had to take a very active role even to shooting, taking active part in the guerrillas and everything. One of the first martyrs who were killed in our war, against Morocco was martyr Shaya. She was a woman. She was killed in war. She was not just a victim, collateral victim in another situation, So this is just to show you how active this has been. From that moment being, we suffered that our society had to flee from our country to an Algerian desert. We were given a part of that, well, let's to live there, You can imagine that that fleeing was very, very complicated. I did not live that. My mother did. Many women that I've lived with all my life did. And I cannot explain how it feels to listen to them when they tell you that, so many women had to collect the pieces of the dead bodies of their relatives, kids, anyone really, And this happened for a long time until, until finally we were able to settle what we know nowadays as the Sahrawi refugee camps. Again, the women had to be the doctors, the nurses, the architects to build the tents. Every single task and role was performed by women. This is in the refugee camps, and I want to set this very clear because we live very different experiences, that we are physically divided, by a physical wall that we will explain later. In the refugee camps, let's say that governed by the Polisario Front, little by little we organised our life. We were able to settle schools, hospitals. We managed to get almost 100% literacy rate, okay, for men, women, and for everyone, which is, I think, very, very important, taking into account our nomadic background. This is an important role to play. Let's say that in the refugee camps, little by little, life went by, okay, and we managed to survive and we managed to live. I have very good memories of my childhood in the refugee camps. I had nothing, physically speaking, but in the meantime, I had everything. I grew up with values. I grew up believing that one day we will be back to our country, that we will be able to free our country, and that we would do all that with the support of all the solidarity and the international movement, which I feel that we are going to do one day, sooner, inshallah. Let's say that although there were difficult times in which we have to say that we even received medicines which were contaminated, therefore we had vaccines, okay, which caused different difficulties to a lot of people. We had to deal with all those issues at the very beginning. This is the reality in the refugee camps, okay? Let's say that we are free to be Sahrawi, we're free to wear our malfas, we're free to show our flag. We don't have those political difficulties, but we have lots of humanitarian problems in the refugee camps. Meanwhile, in Western Sahara, the country which is physically invaded by Morocco, where we are a minority in our country, where we fight for basic human rights, okay, where being a woman is punished, okay, where being a Sahrawi person is punished, where you can be attacked just by wearing a melfa, which is the symbol, which is our identity. That is the reality there. I can tell you about my friend Aisha from the occupied territories, who went to visit her husband, a political activist, a Sahrawi political activist who spent several years in prison. She went to visit her husband with her 4-year-old daughter at the time. And when she left the prison, she was followed by a car. She was taken into the car with her daughter and taken to a flat, an empty flat. She was raped by 5 men in front of her daughter, just for being a Sahrawi woman, the wife of a Sahrawi activist, political activist. This is a reality of Sukayna Juddehlo, Ghalia Jimi, and so many women who are not internationally known, but they have suffered all this situation. So I think that here we have to really be very aware of the privilege that all of us have for being able to decide, okay, and vote for the things. And we should really be more aware and take a more active part, if possible, which you all do, to try to, I don't know if it's understand, help, encourage, okay, all our countries, all our governments to really change things all over the world, because there is a lot of suffering in many countries that we don't know anything about. And I've written a lot of things that I can't not even remember what they are, I'm sorry. And I will tell you just one last thing, and I'll be finishing, Yusuf. In our case, we are a very small community that is being divided, let's say, all over the world. We are in refugee camps, we're in Western Sahara, and we are all over the world. We, again, women, have the role to make sure that our identity keeps, okay, that we don't really lose our identity and we don't lose our freedom in front of our oppressor, okay, in front of our invader. They're trying to physically kill us. And in many cases they do. We have loads of disappeared people, we have loads of tortured, raped, and so on people. And I think that we stronger than ever, we believe that this is a time to stop. In my last trip to Western Sahara, I met a woman, grandmother, and speaking to her, I was really, I was really impressed, okay, by their strength, by their lack of fear, okay, and asking her, I said, are you not worried that your daughter, your son, yourself can be killed by the Moroccan police, by the Moroccan militaries? And she said, when you have nothing to lose, you have no fear. What are you going to lose? We are oppressed. We're not free. We cannot do the things that we want. Part of my family is being killed in this. So what's going to happen if I die or if my son dies? It's not going to be the first one. It's not going to be the last one. When you hear this, you realize that the stupid, ridiculous things that we are into every single day have no relevance at all, taking into account all the things that we've heard here. So, thank you very much Okay? And keep fighting for that.